Hey guys, Eli here, and on today's video, I want to share with you one of the bigger mistakes I made when I was growing my photography business, and it's the time that I bought 7 iPhones, one iPhone for each of my photographers at the time, because I thought that clients wanted their photos more quickly. But before I jump into the lesson directly that I learned and why I made the mistake, here are the freaking 7 iPhones that I bought that I ended up having to return at a big loss. Thanks Verizon for at least letting me off a little bit and letting me out of the contracts. But anyway, here's the backstory. When I first started my real estate photo business, I knew that in order to grow it, I had to stand out from the competition. That's like super common in business. We all know that you have to stand out from the competition. And the competition had 2 to 3 day turnaround, meaning if I shot the photos on a Wednesday, the agent would get them Friday or Saturday. And I knew that agents didn't love that. And a lot of these photo companies that I was competing with, you could pay like $75 or $100 more to have the photos next day. So I was like, okay, I'm starting brand new. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna include that standard. 24-hour turnaround is gonna be the standard at my photo business, Norman & Young. That really did help us grow, and it changed the market. Here in Dallas-Fort Worth, everybody does 24-hour turnaround. And so that was in the past. That was when I first started. And I was like, that was a success. That was awesome. So my business had grown a little bit. We had 7 photographers at the time, of course. And I started thinking, okay, how can I one-up everybody else again? And the lesson here, first of all, is don't focus on your competition too much, or you can occasionally just one-up yourself by accident. And so I looked at the competition, I said, how am I gonna be better? Well, they offer 24-hour, I'm gonna offer same day. I'm gonna get those photos back to the client the same day. Because I'm like, hey, listen, the one-man photographers can't compete with me because we can do it same day, they can't. These other companies aren't gonna want to, at least I'm gonna get a head start. So I didn't even ask any clients about this. I went out to Verizon and I said, okay, the only way I'm gonna be able to do this, I'm gonna have to buy each photographer an iPhone with a big data plan, and there was an adapter that you could plug into the bottom of your iPhone that was an SD card reader. I'm gonna have them transfer their photos to their editing team after each shoot. I'll be able to deliver the photos in like 3 hours. So I bought the iPhones, signed the contracts, got the 7 iPhones back. This is over $1,000 a month for all of this nonsense. It was ridiculous because I had the phones on a payment plan. It was expensive, $1,000 a month. But I was like, okay, that's fine. You know, we're at the size where we had 7 employees. It wasn't a huge issue spending an extra $1,000. And we started testing it, and it was a disaster. Like, the cell service was slow. People were being late to shoots because they were trying to upload. It just didn't happen like it was supposed to. And it got close to the time when we were gonna officially launch it because we were just testing for now. And one of our agents I ended up talking to about it. I don't know how the conversation came up, but I was like, hey, Jeremy, we're gonna do same-day delivery. And I think we might have to raise our prices slightly to make that happen, but maybe not. But what do you think? And he was like, no, I don't care for same day delivery. You know, I like having the time after you shoot the photos where the sellers think that I'm waiting on the photographer, think that they're waiting on the photographer, right? So it gives Jeremy, the agent, a little bit of time to step back and go, okay, I can get the listing ready, I can do that kind of thing. And so the mistake here was that I just looked so much at the competition that I ended up one-upping myself in a way that did nothing for the clients. It just raised my cost, it raised the complexity of our services. And I did that because I was too focused on the competition. And that's something so many people do in any business, but in this business specifically, they're like, oh, I don't want to get into real estate photography. I don't want to start my business because the competition is so good. And they do this and they do that. And they're so focused on the competition, they forget about the client. The thing with real estate photography, and the reason I've been able to grow my business to that point, 7 photographers and now a much bigger company, is because I focus on the customer. You would be so surprised how easy it is to get fully booked as a real estate photographer if you provide awesome service and you focus on making the client want to work with you. And usually that has nothing to do with your photo quality, the gear you use, anything like that. It has to do with how easy you are to work with and how well you work within their workflow. And that is exactly what I've set my business up to do. So regardless of if you're interested in real estate photography, you're already a real estate photographer, you shoot weddings, you want to shoot some other type of photography, I would highly encourage you to, 1, focus on your clients. Make sure you're building your business not to compete with other photographers, but to be the best fit for your client. And number 2, this is much more important, prioritize service. Everybody is so fixated on price and quality and they forget about service. But if you think about it, so many people will pay so much more for service. In our office building here, there's a haircutting place down there that is like 3 times the price of a normal haircut, but it's full all the time. And it's because they provide awesome service. They're awesome to go get your haircut at. It's a fun experience. They give you a 10-minute massage. They've added on these other things that are independent of just the haircut that make them get fully booked. Nice restaurants do the same thing. Yeah, sometimes the food is better, but oftentimes it's the same food smeared on a plate in a more aesthetic way, and the service is better, and we pay more for that. Humans just pay more for a better experience. It's just something we do. It's in our nature. And so many people forget about that part of it, and they look at photo quality, and they look at pricing, and they look at what the competitors are doing, and they forget about what matters. So wherever you are, I highly encourage you to take a step back from your business and think about that. If you're interested in real estate photography and learning how we put service first in our business and the exact model I use to grow my business to the point where I made the mistake and beyond, check out the workshop that's linked in the bio. It's a free 1-hour workshop so you can learn from me and see my teaching and get my best tips. And if you want to jump into my full course, there's also a link below where you can get my business in a box type course, Real Estate Photographer Pro, where I'm going to share with you everything to do in the perfect order to do it and just walk you through it. That's why we call it a business in a box, because it's not all this theory about why you should do different things. It's just do this, do this, do this, do this, and here's the result that you'll get. So I highly encourage you to check that out. If you have any questions, I reply to every single comment here on YouTube, so drop it in the comments. And thank you for spending your time. I know we're all busy, so I appreciate you spending the time watching this video. And if you have not yet, hit the subscribe button. I'm posting new videos all the time in 2022. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.